Critical incidents in communication. Critical situations are defined as situations which create misunderstanding, problem, or conflict resulting from cultural differences, interaction between parties, or a program of cross-cultural adaptation and communication. A young woman had recently arrived in Canada ready to start a new life. She found the weather a little cold, but still enjoyed wearing the same style she wore at home: tight skirts and tight tops that had low necklines. After about a month, she began to notice people staring at her. She thought they were looking at her because she was a foreigner. Then one day someone told her that only prostitutes dress that way. She felt angry and insulted. Why would a Canadian tell her she looked like a prostitute? The woman apparently did not investigate the Canadian culture before she moved there. According to www.SBall.com, Canadians tend to dress conservatively, wearing conservative colors and classic lines. Trendy clothes are not appropriate even in rural areas. It is also suggested that you dress for the weather. Obviously, the cultural norm in Canada does not dictate the wearing of tight skirts and tops with low necklines. A little research could have spared the woman's feelings. Two women in their late 50s were walking along the street holding hands when a truck drove by. The passenger shouted "Lesbo" at them. They were very upset that people thought they were lesbians, and so they stopped holding hands like that. They couldn't understand why some people had a problem with two women holding hands. It's a normal thing to do. It is perfectly normal in many cultures for people of the same sex to hold hands. The United States and Canada share a bond with regards to interpersonal space and touch. Generally, both cultures prefer an arm's length distance between people they are communing with. Cultural differences define the norm for what is acceptable with the concept of space. It is quite common in Arabic or Asian countries to see people of the same sex hold hands. Therefore, it should not be an automatic assumption that someone is homosexual because they do. Irene and her husband recently met a couple that just immigrated to Canada. Irene and her husband were having a party at their house, so they decided to invite their new friends. When the couple arrived, there were 3 other couples there already. The man entered and shook hands with the men, but not with any of the women. Irene was insulted. People often think of their own social norms when it comes to male and female interactions. From an intercultural standpoint, these dynamics can be quite complicated. According to the Geert Hofstede analysis, countries which have a high masculinity rating have a high degree of gender differentiation. Canada has a low masculinity ranking, and females are given equal treatment in all aspects. If Irene had been more culturally competent, she would have realized that her guest's intent was not to insult, but to show respect. In order to achieve a full level of cultural competency, it is essential to exhibit the following skills: openness, knowledge, and adaptability. Values and beliefs are ingrained within us according to where you grew up, your nationality, regional and local customs, and the attitudes and practices to which we are normally exposed. It is important to have respect for others, show empathy, and be communicatively aware, especially in business communications. This will ensure your overall success when communicating with individuals of diverse origins and ethnicities.